Hello and welcome. Hope you're doing alright. I'm doing all good. It's a bit blustery, so apologies if the wind messes up the sound and that, but I'll try and get one out. Feels like it's been ages, been busy at work, so all I've really done is decide on the path forward and did some irrigation as well today. So we'll go around and have a look at the irrigation while I point out some plants that have and haven't been doing too well. So this is the bistro area, by the way. There will be a stone bar here coming with the waterfall cascading down where the barbecue is. But yeah, morning sun comes up, that gap between the two trees there. Morning sun comes through there, so perfect for a coffee, I say. So anyway, as we move on round, first sort of major one that's getting a bit iffy is the Tetrapanax. It was quite green and sort of pert, like that leaf at the rear there that's sort of half hidden by that fern, but these last leaves have suddenly started going off a bit. I've got a feeling I overwatered it. I did this mistake last year when I put it in the ground and I didn't think it was getting enough water, so I kept putting loads of water on it. So I've got a feeling that it doesn't need any like extra watering. Like when I'm spraying the plants around, I just do that rather than actually specifically water it, so I'm leaving that one to go out. It's worked for another plant anyway, so we'll get to that one in a minute. Under here, the Lophosauria still doing well. The Tetrapanax is obviously keeping the major sort of heat of the day off it, so hopefully that'll do well. That all got frozen back. There is a royal fern at the back there. Few of the leaves fronds went brown on it already, so I cut them off, so it's not left too much there. This one though, the Ethereum Felix Femina lady fern, is doing really well. Yeah, the conifers that I bought, let's just take a step back and have a look at that in a minute. So that was kind of where I was thinking of having something that's going to cover the whole fence vertically, with a bit of structure if you like. So I've put that one there. These were obviously cheap, reduced half price in B&Q. It's been a week or two now. They're not looking like they're going to recover. So yeah, it is what it is. The Blechnum Chilense is sending out some new fronds. You can see this one coming towards us here. Very like leathery, this one, very leathery. We've got one coming up there by the look of it as well. And then there's also one down there to the right by the plant pot, by the tea and the irrigation. So yeah, that's spreading quite well. Everything around here is doing alright. The Scheffler has recovered quite well. As you can see, there's some bugs or something, caterpillars or whatever, curling a few of the leaves up, but otherwise seems to be doing alright. Although this leaf has got a mutation on it, so yeah, interesting, as they might say. This is the first bit of the irrigation I've put in. So I had a limited amount of stock. Every time I've been going in B&Q, which is like once every 2 or 3 weeks, I just grab a handful of fittings for this stuff because they do it there, and then you're only spending a sort of tenner at a time. So now I've done something. That's a mist sprayer up there with a little stop tap so I can adjust the flow on it. Although what I've noticed with these is that I was thinking like, oh yeah, it's going to do a big mist spray, so if I turn it down it'll do a smaller mist spray, but that's not how it works at all. It needs to be at full like pressure to create fine mist, otherwise it comes out a bit more sprinklery, if that makes sense. But we'll see in a minute. I'll fire it up at the end. Setiferum's doing right. This Cyathea down here, which is why that bit of mist spray is up there, just to keep all this nice and wet, has actually realised it's stuck under several fronds, which is only going to get bigger, so he's decided he's going to send them up through the centre there, so that's quite good. And also just notice that crozier, yeah, I liken it to a sort of, if a dog had brindle paws, it would be sort of like that effect of when they're curled up, if you've ever had a dog that's had brindle paws on it. So yeah, Setiferum, still firing them out. Like I said, great fern. That's 7 out of 10 all year round, nice and big, loves deep shade. And then these 2 months or 3 months when it's sending out fronds, it goes up to sort of 8, 9 out of 10, so happy with that one. This is where I will get a small Dixonia like the other one we'll get to in a minute, like a foot high or 2 foot high there. So that fern in the centre, the tassel fern, is just place sitting for now. But when I've done the irrigation, I've come up here, And then obviously I've got the stop end on the end of that. That will then come across to a mist sprayer when I've got the Dixonia in there. And then I've come across this way. You can just see my stop tap up there on the fence. And then another mister here, which is facing the wrong way. Oh yeah, it blocked, so I had to redo it. So I'll twist that in a minute. Actually, I may as well do it now. Right, he's facing the right way now. Cyathea down here is doing quite well. This frond has just come out here, so that's alright. We can see we've got one there. Now, this was sold as a Cyathea australis. I was under the impression, and according to 2 or 3 of the books I've got, that the difference between the Cyathea couperii and the Cyathea australis isn't anything particularly on the plant itself, but it's the fact that at the bottom you have hairs rather than scales, and when we get to the smaller Cyathea australis you'll see what I mean. But that looks hairy, that looks like that brindle dog paw, that crozier. So yeah, I'm thinking that's a couperii that they sold me, but there we go. Oh yeah, that thing's out of its clips as well. You can see the little clips I've used for it, and again something to adjust the flow. So yeah, it looks like I've got a bramble coming up actually. Didn't spot that one. Otherwise Fatsy is looking good. The little maidenhair fern that I had isn't doing too well, but we'll just leave that in there and see what happens. Otherwise the small Dixonia is doing well. This one's doing alright, although the little one smashed the end off of that as it was unfurling, so it stopped. But we've got a couple of croziers coming out of that. The Cyathea couperii, this is a fantastic frond shape, that, and the fact it sort of comes out like and horizontal. Yeah, real big fan of this thing. Again, we've got the brindle dog paw coming up in the centre there. He's a bit beastie, that one. So yeah, he's alright. On the low pressure circuit, I've run out of drippers to put in it, but I just put the pipe work in for now, so that will just do, because this was missing the inner triangle of the irrigation. You can see the Lepidopoda there at the back, the orangey one. That's sending out some new. I did say before that how I would describe this would be pronounced, and what I mean by that is the edges look like they've been sort of drawn in with a little black pen, like fine art sort of thing, but you can see the colours on that. It's really nice. That's deep shade there, so he likes that. Someone's doing something. So yeah, the Cyathea, here's my mister for here. I've just tapped into the irrigation that was coming up here, put a little stop tap on it, you can see there, and a little mist spray. I did rig it all up before on a big long bit of pipe, and sort of moved it around at different angles from different areas to see which was the best one, and that was the best one. So down this end we've got the one on the floor down there, which you don't need to worry about. We've got the mister there at the top by the bamboo, and then we've got the mister there by that Cyathea, and the mister behind the edge of the climbing frame, which is another one. So that's what we're doing. Alright, that's my beer, so we're all good with that. These are doing okay. The Atras is doing okay. Trachylospernum jasminoides is doing good. The Nidus is doing well there. It's just sent out with all these last 3 fronds, you can see, which are as big as the other ones, so that's good. I need to sort this area out, admittedly. I moved the Boston fern from over by one of the smaller Cyatheas, just because I thought with the mister, that hanging basket is like plastic lined, so it holds the moisture, and I'm thinking if I'm sending off irrigation with misting sprays twice a day, it's going to pile up on that. So those two work all right there, because when I fill up my little sprayer off the water butt for the house plants, I can give these a bit of a misting as well. So yeah, other than that, I've done a little bit of the topsoil on the top of the grass, so I need to give that another brush in. But the Hedychium's doing okay. Obviously the Erythrosaura, there's the Hollythorn. I moved over from where the Lanicera was, so he seems to be doing a little bit better there. Otherwise that's about it for that lot. So oh, sorry, yeah, if we come over to Camellia Corner, I've got some nice spots for ferns coming up actually, because this is where the banana is. Needs to be a good one, because it's what you see when you're coming out the door. The Australis looks like it's struggling somewhat, but I'm wondering if this is like the other ones where I put it in I took it out of what it was used to, which would have been a protective greenhouse type atmosphere, and the fronds before had already sort of formed, if you know what I mean, the croziers for them. Now I've put it in the ground, it sent out these that all look quite rough now, this centre one. But I'm wondering if the 2 or 3 that are coming up now, there's one just about to unfurl dead centre next to the orange frond. Yeah, so don't know with that, I'm going to give it a bit of a chance. The Erythrosaura there is doing quite well, coming out orange. This thing's doing okay, the Hypulpus punctata. I don't really know what that's going to look like, but it looks quite nice, a nice soft green on that one. These Nephrolopuses are starting to look good. This is Nephrolopus cordifolia, looks like a bit of a Boston fern, just the sort of leaves, or leaflets if you like, aren't as big, but this thing is still going. Can you see that at the end? Just got the tiniest little roll, so he's actually still unfurling, that one. Over here the other Cyathea isn't doing too well. You can see I've taken the lizard off of the wall by the house and put it in there just to test them out. I think I need to edge those octagons in on the trellis properly with some batten just to make it pop a little bit. Yeah, Conifer's not doing too well, but same as the other one. This Nephrolopus is looking quite nice. Glad news finally at last, similar to the Tetrapanax. I stopped watering this Lonicera hildebrandiana and it started firing off in several directions, so yeah, I'm happy with that. I was just maybe getting a little bit of an itch of a worry about that one. And then yeah, finally, biggest news is the Canna has started to flower, so yeah, they're quite nice. Canna iridifloria Hemini, so yeah, not too bad. And there we go, so not too much going on there. Let's fire up these misters and see what they look like. I was hoping there was going to be a bit of sun for it, but that doesn't matter. So 2 seconds, I haven't got the right thing put in. Enjoy the view. So if we come over here, we'll have to wait for it to get going, but I've got my little sprinkler down here that I put in previously, just off the bottom of the fence space. You can see coming out of the ivy. That's doing the trunk for the Cyathea, this Cyathea that's just a plant, and the trunk of the Dixonia over there at the back, so that's doing okay. And then you can't really see it, but can you see that thing is misting out? I'm getting slightly sprayed now stood here, which is good because that mister is for the foliage mainly. And then coming across here again, that might be a little bit too wet down there, so I might not actually need that one. And then this one here, I'm getting wet already. You can see the spray, it's quite nice, and that's going to get all of that. But whether I need that one, or maybe I take out this middle one, and then this sprayer here by the lantern should do this area, half of it, and that one there on the right should do as well. So anyway, yeah, moving on. I've cleaned out all that at the back, and you can see the most annoying thing is because the light cable is over there, but it does actually come out the back of that already. Can you see that at the bottom? And then I've tucked it under the fence and chucked it under all those rocks. So yeah, I will have to take all those rocks out, and that's what I'm going to do first. And then the next thing I'm going to do is build up this fence in here up to the 6 high like the one on the left is, and then over in Camellia Corner where the bamboo is right in the corner, finish off that. I should be able to buy 7 bits and finish that, and then I'll probably do the same all the way across the bottom of this fence as well. Wasn't gonna put the you know, this new fencing on top of it, but I think it'd look a bit funny if it didn't, and plus it'd help me structure wise. Anyway, it is the sun has come out. I wonder if we can get a nice rainbow effect on it at all. Let's try over on my little evening seat. Oh yeah, you sort of get the gist of it, but yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have a beer. Hope you're all having a good one. Cheers.